Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decisions for your applications. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so here we have this residential pergola. Now, overall, it's a 10 by 12 space. Let's go ahead and just get the overall dimensions that I have here. And so you can see here we have 10 foot in this direction from center to center on the post. And then this one here we have 12 foot 6 on the outside edge to the outside edge over here. And you can see that we have a height of the bottom of these, I think these are 4 by 6s here. I have that at 8 foot 6. And then, you can see a couple of the other measurements here, 18 inches here, as well as I believe 12 inches here. Here we have this model at about 6 foot height, and the bottom edge of this beam here at the 7 foot 8 height. So first of all, I'm just going to go ahead and show what they had requested first of all, which would be placing some CD 3024s in this application. And you can see here with the 3024, you have just a basic 33 inches long. It's a 3000 watt unit, 2 elements. And would this be something I would recommend? Number one, you can see how I have this attached to the ceiling, and then what you are required to do is to have at least 6 inches from any combustible from the edge of the heater, but below the heater, let's see if I have that on here. Below the heater, you need to have 18 inches of clearance. So this particular feature would not work at this application. Now you might say, well, why don't we go ahead and just change the angle of these brackets here and mount them on the beam and then angle the heater down. Well, when you do that on a CD model, it requires 12 inches of clearance, and that would bring the heater down. Just to give you an example here, I believe this is a 10-inch beam. Yeah, so 10 inches deep, and that would make the heater have to drop below the beam itself. So that wouldn't actually work in this application. Not to mention, if you looked at the overall ray itself, the ray itself would be something of this nature. It's a 7 by 7 footprint basically, and it's about 7 feet off the finished floor when it comes to the most ideal amount of heat output for this particular model. So is this an application I would recommend? Probably not. So let's go ahead and skip to the next option, and that next option might be, well, what about some CD 6024s, and let's push those out. I actually didn't have that right here, but let's go ahead and push that out to that 16-inch mark, 18-inch mark. You can see here that's approximately 18 inches here, and this one here is a little bit off, so let's go ahead and move that a couple inches over here. So that would be something that would work, but this is really designed for a little bit higher of an application. You can see the footprint of heat is actually penetrating down into the concrete I have here, and it actually goes further into that area. So this would be ideal for a higher application. So could you do this? Yes, but you'd have to use a control system in order to make this function. Now another thing is, and it wasn't mentioned to me, but would there be a fan located in the center of this application? And if so, then the fan blades would have to be non-combustible fan blades, and or if they are combustible, then the heaters can't go there at all. So unless you drop the heaters down below, which would kind of make the situation look a little bit inappropriate, I'd say. That's approximately, let's see here, try that one more time. Let's just go from this edge here to the bottom edge of the fan blade, and this is just again a design of the fan here. So that's approximately a drop of about 4 inches. So again, that's not something I would recommend, so let's go ahead and turn that off. So if the idea was, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this fan off too, but just something to keep in mind as far as that's concerned. If the idea was to place the unit so it's parallel with these major beams here, then possibly using a slimline 4,000 watt unit would be the answer for that application. And what I did here is I mounted the brackets on the ceiling. Technically you can mount them on a vertical surface like this. However, I like to attach it to the ceiling so you have a nice clean vertical beam coming across here. And the other nice thing about the slimline is the bracket itself can be maneuvered throughout the unit. There's a little channel back here, and that bracket can be slid from left to right here a certain amount of distance so that you can match up your mounting bracket. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the clearances here for the below, and actually I'll turn off the ray for a moment here. But yeah, you can mount the bracket to whatever ceiling space that you might have available. So that's kind of a nice thing. Now, the other thing about this application on slimlines, when you change the angle, you can change it from straight down, I believe up to 45 degrees. I have this at approximately 30 degrees pointed towards the center of the patio. You do need to maintain 6 inches of clearance here, and the brackets will maintain the 6 inches of clearance above, even with that angle change. So something to think about on your selection of outdoor heaters. And go ahead and look at the footprint of heat again. You can see that the coverage here is pretty decent. However, we have a lot more cross rays, so that this would probably be pretty a warm spot here in the center. And again, you may need to have a control system in order to maintain the most comfortable heat for your application if it was something of this nature. So this would be my next one here, would be my preferred application. And what I've done here is I've taken the slimline units again, placed them just on these 2 beams, one here and one here, the second one in on each side. And I have the angle at 10 degrees, and you can see that the footprint of heat is covering this span here very nicely, and it's covering this span here fairly uniformly. Even though we have a lot of crossover here, it's not as intense as it was before. And with the 4,000 watt at 10 degrees, you can actually change this to just 5 degrees, for instance. But then you'll get a good coverage overall the entire space. So all right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful. We don't advertise, we're not monetized. YouTube does not promote our channel in any way unless we receive a thumbs up from our viewers, and we truly appreciate that. And please click that subscribe button. We're looking for some more subscribers. We really appreciate you guys doing that. So thank you very much. Have an excellent day.